Okay. Time for the dress. Just get myself set up. Okay, so here's the body. It's not the same one as I used earlier on for those eagle-eyed people. She's still calling. So I will use this one because this is the actual bride I'm going to be using anyway. So, right. Okay. So I'm going to use, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Fimo Pro white. It's nice and soft, this, actually. I really like the Fimo Pro because, well, mainly it's a bit stiffer, so it holds its shape better, and it's quite forgiving. But I know a lot of people find it too hard to use Fimo Soft instead. But I like this one. Oh, my desk's a bit wet. Just wait for that to dry. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to create an A-line dress, which I will do in 2 stages. I will do the skirt first, the underskirt. Then I will do the dress, which will be the whole thing over the top. Then I will put one of the arms on, and I normally put the head on too at this stage, but for the sake of the actual live video, I'm going to break it down and do it in one separate video because it's something that people ask me about all of the time, is how I do my heads and my faces. So so this part 2 will literally just be the dress and one arm. And the reason I do one arm is because I build my figures separately. I build the female. I build one first, and then I will build the next partner, and then I will join them on at the end. You'll see that. I'll go through all of that. It does take a long time to go through it all, so yeah, so I'll just keep plodding on. Right, so I'm going to do the dress part first, the underskirt part first. So I'm going to condition up my white clay first. Like my Gruffalo mug, look at that. Whee! The joy of having kids, look. You don't even get a grown-up mug. Right. It's starting to warm up in my office now, and the white is quite soft anyway. So I'm going to roll this out. I use a Fimo clay machine, which is basically a more expensive pasta machine. The reason I use the Fimo clay machine is because I get a discount. That's the only reason. You can use any pasta machine. You can get it from China, you can get it from eBay, wherever. As long as it's a pasta machine and you can alter the thickness of what you're rolling out, it's fine, it's perfect, because there is no point in spending out loads on a machine that does the same job. So yeah, I do have a Fimo machine, and they are about £50, I think, if you buy them from eBay, which is quite expensive. So I'm yeah, so I would say get a cheap one. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Let's have a look. It's at the end of the table there. I've got two. There you go. I am very lazy. Because I don't do cleaning. Those people who know me, I'm not very good at cleaning. So I have one machine for white and I have one machine for other colours so that my white doesn't get lines of other colour around it. There you go. Top lazy person tip there. So that's what I've got. They're great. I will put a link into one on the description after I've done this. So I'm gonna roll this out to a thickness of 3 on the Fimo machine, and then I will show you how thick it is when I get back. I'll be 2 seconds. I'm just going to move that back down. I'm not actually sure if this is going to be long enough. Anyway, we'll find out in a minute. Okay. Right. So first things first, use the liquid Fimo that I used earlier on. Brush it round where you're going to be attaching the skirt on to the body. Then using a nice sharp craft knife, just cut the rough edges off. I use, I think it's an X-Acto knife from, I think they're American. And I bought this because all crafters that I've ever watched go on about other amazing X-Acto knives. It's not that great. It's just a craft knife. It's just any craft knife. It's just a cheap craft knife, really. But I like them nice and heavy and weighted. I don't know why. When they're really light, I can't seem to get on with them. So there you go. Anyway, I'm left-handed as well, so that makes no difference. Right, so just cut the rough edges off and get rid of the excess. Go like this. Right, so I've got a nice long rectangle now. Now, if you can imagine in your head, or you've got a picture, I'm not going to show you a picture of the dress because I'm not going to be able to show you the finishing touches of this dress because it's very different to a normal white wedding dress. And I don't want you to see it because the bride is obviously not married yet. So anyway, so I'm just going to show you how you do the white bit, and then I'm going to add the details on later on. So if you can see a big A-line dress, like a gown, it kind of comes out like an A shape, like a capital A, like that. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate here. Now, if you can see that, if you hold it up, that's going to go too far up. Can you see? Which means that she will look really fat. So I'm going to just take a bit off the bottom. And then try it again. That's about right. You can also get rid of excess clay from the actual model, which if I need to do that, I will I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. Okay, so now I'm going to start from where she's going to be joined onto her partner, which is this side. So she's going to be standing next to her partner and he's standing here. So any like untidy seams can go down here because nobody will see that part. I'm giving you all my secrets now, people. So yeah, so not that I like to have untidy seams, but you have to join stuff somewhere. It has to, you know, it. And I'm not an expert. I try my hardest to join them without anybody being able to see it. But with the best will in the world, you know, I'm not. So I'm going to give it a go. So she's going to be standing here next to her husband-to-be, who's currently in the oven. And you can see here, can you see there? Yeah, just about. You can see it's kind of cracking a little bit here. I've not conditioned that enough. So that there, if that was the outside of the dress and that was going to be seen, I would have to take that off and start again, or try to join it and patch it. But I wouldn't bother to try and join it and patch it at this stage because I've only just started. So I would probably take it off and start again. But this is the underskirt, so it's not going to be seen. It doesn't matter. So what I do is I do like a little pleat. So you've got a bit here and then you go back on yourself to join it together. And you do that all the way around. So if you remember making a paper fan at school, it's a bit like that. It's a bit like that. So okay, so that's on. So that's on now. You can see that looks really messy. Okay, now if you put a dress over the top of this, you would get all of these bumps here. She would probably look as if she was pregnant. Yeah, if you look at it from the side and you put a dress on the top of that, she's going to look pregnant. Now, that's not a good idea unless they are actually pregnant. Okay, so I'm going to join it all and I'm going to smooth it out. Okay. Right. So to smooth it out, everybody's got their own little things they use. I use this tool, which I nicked out of my manicure set, because clearly I really need a manicure set, don't I? This is my manicure. This is from my manicure set, which is non-existent, clearly. This is the bit, it's kind of nail shaped. I don't know what it's used for, but I use this for smoothing, and I use this end for smoothing as well. Some people use these, which is similar to that. I think it's a Dresden tool. It was a Dresden tool when I used to use it in caking, but I don't cake anymore. Yeah, so some people use that one. I use this one because it's got a smaller surface area and I feel like I've got more control, but everybody's different. Anyway, so I'm gonna blend this now. Now I've got a tub of baby oil here, which I always keep open. So I've always got a tub of liquid Fimo and I've always got a tub of baby oil. Now dip it in and get any excess off on your skin, because on your hands, so you can come back to it, because if you put too much on it, just gets slimy and it's really hard to work with. So now using the small end, I just blend up and into the body. Can you see that? My hand in the way. I'm wondering whether the camera should be better on the other side. So There we go. Just keep blending up. Here we go. And the dog goes mad. Hang on one second. Great. Thank you. Sorry, good boy. Go back to bed. Okay. The joys of doing this from home. There we are. So kind of joined it all the way around. Starting to look a bit better now. I'll put baby oil on my finger, and then I can put a bit of pressure on. I am going to have to swap this camera around the other way. Right. Right, so we've got the skirt going on there. You can be, I do put quite a bit of pressure on the dress and the body whilst I'm doing it, which is what I said in part one, is like, I like to have it baked so that I can put a lot of pressure on. So there you go. You can see there that the join is there. So that will be next to the groom. So you won't see that. And I will join the overdress, the actual dress, in the same place. Okay, so it's quite a nice A shape now. Slightly too long, so I'm going to cut the excess off because then it doesn't puff up like a puffball skirt. Those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s. Just going to get rid of the excess. And then it should sit better on the table. That's better. There we go. Right, so we've got to that point now where it's smoother and it looks a bit better. And you look at it at this stage and you're like, oh, that looks really horrible. But those bits are never going to be seen anyway, so it doesn't matter. So just enjoy making it, and then when you get a bit further on, that's when the dress starts to come to life a bit more. There's always a stage in a model that I fall in love with it, and it's different with every model. Sometimes I fall in love with it right from here, and then sometimes it's not until actually a lot of the time it's not until I put the hair on that I think, ooh, love that. And without a shadow of a doubt, it's the dress part that takes the longest. This dress here doesn't have any lace or anything on it, so it's a good one for me to pick because it won't take as long and bore you. It's always good to start with a nice plain dress. Obviously, the dress will not be plain once it's finished with, but you'll see that later. Right, I'm going to go and roll this out. I'm going to roll this out to a 3 again, I think. Might even do it a 4, but I'll have a look and see how it comes out. Currently, it's not on any because it's not going round. And this is a brand new one, which I only opened this morning. Very annoying indeed. Just going to redo this. See, expensive machine, total toilet. Right. Oh, come on. Right, that's not going anywhere. Let's try it again. God, that's not working. Forcing it through. Brute force. Sorry, Teddy. I'm scaring you with my forceful rolling. Right, I'm going to do it at a 4 because 3 is a little bit too thick. Useless machine. Right. Okay. I might even put that through once more because it's got a hole in it. Right, dress. Okay, so we need to just put a bit of liquid on here, around the bosoms. Cut the excess off and la, la. Right, let's check that's going to be long enough. Ooh. Give it a little stretch. Right, just checking the neckline. It's a sweetheart neckline. So heart-shaped, not heart-shaped, you know what I mean. Standard. It's kind of heart-shaped. What am I on about? Like that. Can you see that? I know what I'm on about. I don't know what I'm on about. Right. So this is too short. But don't worry. I've got it covered. Right. I'm not going to join it at the side, am I? I'm going to join it at the back. I always join it. What am I on about? Right, so join it up. Yeah, look at that. For the next video, I will put the camera on the other side. Right, so we've got dodgy looking dress at the moment. I made myself a really super duper clay stand. Look at that. So that I can lift it up to be on my level. I'm sorry about the state of my walls in the background. Right, so I'm going to push it in here so you've got the right, you've got the waist and everything. Just ease it. Because you've got the liquid female on the bottom underneath, you can maneuver it quite easily and join any bits together that are coming apart. Now, we've got this bit here, which is not long enough. So you have to be really gentle doing this because otherwise it will tear. So wish me luck. Just gently tease it down. And don't pull too hard because otherwise it will tear. Get in there. And trust me, I've torn it on a number of occasions. Now, you see that? That's now almost down to the ground. So I'm just going to move that a second. Cut it. I'm going to cut it. See how it looks at the bottom. Yes, look at that. Look, people, I've done it without ripping it. I amaze myself sometimes. Plenty of time for the wheels to fall off. Literally. I'm just going to tidy this up. Bit of knife control. There we go. Quite impressed that I managed to do that the first time without any swear words. Well done, me. So, so now you've got an A-line dress. La, 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 with a sweetheart neckline. Now you've got this bit at the back here, which is seam. So you need to always check at the back or know what kind of dress you're making, so that you can join and have the right levels in the right place. This one's going to have buttons down to about here, so I don't need to worry too much about that. But then this bit, this is the join at the back. Now it's entirely up to you what you want to do. You can join it like I've blended in the skirt, or you can leave it if it's nice and straight, which actually it is. Plus there's going to be a fair amount of detail going on the top of this dress, so I'm not sure anybody would see that seam anyway. So I'm going to leave it because it's quite straight. I'm also going to just plug my iPad in because that's getting in the way there. Never mind. Anyway, but we're nearly there anyway. So yeah, so I'm going to leave that because when I've put the details on, you won't see that anyway. I'm going to put some buttons on. That's just by rolling. I'm not used to doing this. Because I'm on my own all the time, I don't even speak. I'm just rolling it out a really thin sausage and cutting it into small pieces that can be rolled and put on as buttons. It's a bit fiddly and I'm really clumsy. Are they in a line? I think they are. I always get my brides when they look at them, when they proof them up, because when I finish with them, I don't send them until they're approved by the bride or whoever is ordering it. Generally, it's the bride, or there is normally a lead partner that does it. Could be a groom, could be anybody. So I normally get whoever's booked it and whoever's in charge of the booking. I normally get them to approve it first. So I send them the first draft pictures, and then I ask them to just make sure they zoom in and look down through all of the details and let me know if there's anything that's not straight or anything like that, because actually it's quite nice to have a fresh set of eyes look at it. Is that focused okay? Because when you're staring at something for so long, you don't see some of the imperfections because you just don't. You're used to staring at it, and then somebody can look at it as well and go, oh my God, that's really not straight. What are you doing? So you have to kind of be open to that kind of thing, that kind of criticism. But it's good to welcome it, because you'll never learn. If you don't take criticism, you never learn. It's difficult though. It's been a bit of a process for me. So there we go. That's the dress. Now I'm going to put the arm on. Which way did I say it was? Yes. So it's this arm I'm putting on. I'm just going to roll up a piece of cameo. Right, so you've got like a, just get that to the right place. That's like a, you can see that long thinning sausage. I press down the end there to create the hand, and then I pinch where the elbow would be, and I pinch where the wrist would be. So you've got like that at the moment. Then what I do is I hold it with the hand towards me, and I bend over where the shoulder would be, like so. See that? Okay. I'm just wondering if I bring it. Yeah, bring it in there. Now it's a bit thick on the weight on the wrist, so squeeze it again, squeeze it there, and that's where the shoulder would be. And then I cut a diagonal along where the shoulder is to give me a bit of room to join it on. Little bit of glue. Now, see if I can get this on with you seeing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join it on there like that, and I'm going to blend it in. So I put a fair amount of pressure to stick it on. So you've got that to start with, where you've joined it on. Now some clay artists don't blend it. They just you can see a join in their shoulder, which is fine, because it's just how how we all like to do it. I like to blend it in because I don't know, I just do. So I use this one again, yeah, and I just, same as I did before, bit of baby oil, blending it in gently. Trying to get my arm out of the way. Right. Can you see that now? That's like, you can see it's a slightly different colour, but that's because one is baked and one is not. Now, if you look at the shoulder there, it goes down slightly. I like to have my shoulders quite pronounced because it makes them look really feminine. There you go, like that. So, and then I take my gorgeous little dental machine-y picky thing, and I just do a divot in where the elbow would be, so that it can be bent up. Now I don't bother so much with hands on this hand, because generally speaking, my my brides are holding flowers, so I just bend the arm up here, and where she would be holding her flowers, I would attach the hand and then tidy it all up. Then look around, bend it into place. Just use your finger to ease it on in. Look at that shoulder. See, that shoulder's just dipped down again. So I'm just gonna. It's nice. You can see there it's got a smudge on it from, I don't know what I've done there. I've got a dirty finger or something, but I can sort that out. nearer the finishing time. Okay, that's if you see it with hair over the top or whatever. Yeah, so that's how she's going to go in the oven like this. Ordinarily I would put the head on the top at this point as well, but like I said earlier, I'm not going to do that because I might do a video. I'm going to do a video all on its own of the head, but it will be 2 short videos because I do the head shape, eye sockets, mouth and nose, and then I bake it so that I can push hard on the eyes so that I don't just like distort the shape of the head. So she's going in like this, and I'll do the next video when she's cool.